This isn't just about women's reservation. It's about two competing ideas of how democratic reform should happen. Speed versus structure. And yes, somewhere in between, political credit also gets decided. The opposition wants 33% women reservation in the current 543 Lok Sabha seats. Their argument is simple. Don't wait for restructuring. No census, no delimitation, no delay. Because from their lens, the longer it takes, the more reform gets absorbed into future politics instead of present impact. But it's not only about credit, it's about representation now, under the system that already exists. Meanwhile, the government links it to the 2023 law, first census, then delimitation. So the focus isn't speed, it's sequencing. Redesign the system first, then apply the reservation on a recalibrated parliament. From their perspective, this avoids a one time fix and instead builds a long term structural change. But there's a practical issue. The census is delayed, and without census, delimitation cannot move forward. So the implementation doesn't just slow down, it shifts to an uncertain timeline. And that uncertainty is exactly where the political narrative of who gets credit enter the picture. Now comes another idea, increasing Lok Sabha seats. Under the expansion model, under this approach, reservation is added without reducing existing seats. No displacement of current MPs, no state level reshuffle shock. But this changes the scale of the reform itself. It becomes a larger structural redesign where credit is no longer tied to one actor alone, but to a process spread across multiple stages. So both sides are not really fighting for women's reservation. They agree on the destination. The real disagreement is this: do you prioritize immediate implementation in the existing system or wait for a redesigned system where the political and institutional stakes are completely reset? And in that gap between speed and structure, the question of credit naturally emerges.